Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Salutations and mental prostrations before all the Mahatmas, brothers and sisters. When we are nearing towards the centenary, Sannyasa centenary of Gurudev, it will be most appropriate to think about sannyas. Many of us have formed so many concepts about sannyas. All are valid, all are right. But at the same time, we are asking for ourselves, if we have rightly understood, why is it that we have not been able to live up to it? This is an occasion for all of us to do some introspection. Then we try to explore, reflect, contemplate more and more on this sublime and profound method called sannyas. Why is it recommended? Like every other thing, is it also to be reinterpreted, suiting to the changing pattern which God has ordained? He is behind everything. So naturally, every process also is getting refined, fine-tuned. With that basis, we will try to share some thoughts. The moment we hear the word sannyas, what comes to our mind is wearing this ochre robe, cutting away from the usual common run of life, adopting to a discipline where we are receding ourselves from the usual agenda of life. We come to realize this is not possible for all. It is nice to hear, nice to appreciate, nice to remember about those who have scaled the heights. But when it comes to our own life, we find there are a lot of limitations. Outwardly, we may be revering, but inwardly, we don't know to what extent we have been able to assimilate the theme that we have appreciated in our own life. So this particular approach, how am I to practice this? In all our worldly activities, suppose we want to specialize in a particular line, we withdraw ourselves from the usual common field, intensely work upon that particular field of life, field of knowledge, field of activity, and then get ourselves thoroughly steadied, come out of it, and lead the normal life with a different outlook. Whether I am a doctor or an engineer or an auditor, during that particular period we are away. Our whole priority and preference is fixed on something that we are going to take it as a vocation. Is that so in the sannyas case? Is it for that particular purpose we are receding from the common run of life and trying to go through a set of discipline suggested by those who have scaled the heights, and then come back and be in the society and discharging the duties just like any other one who does it? Something we have to keep on thinking about it. This could be one answer. Nobody can say this is the only answer for anything. There cannot be any absolute yes or no for any of these things because of the simple truth that as many men, so many paths are there. Each one is unique. Each one's swabhava or swadharma is different. Along with our birth, we also inherit all these things. And suppose we bring in some other idea which is foreign to our swabhava or swadharma, it takes a lot of time, struggle to adapt ourselves to this changing one. So that proves that it should also be in line with our swabhava. That is why Mahatmas who have scaled the heights keep on telling that sannyasa means it is a thing not to be given to anybody. It is an inner prompting, spontaneously comes, and then depending upon the maturity he has arrived at, the spiritual preceptor or the guru initiates him into the order. So it is not imposed on anybody. It is purely relating to that particular man, particular person's priorities, whether he has been able to take back everything and put it on a particular line of thinking. And God in his own way arranges everything. He makes him to get in touch with any such evolved soul who gives him directions. But each one, later on we come to realize that each one has to cut out a path for oneself. Papa, Parampuja Papa, from whose ashram we are coming now, Ananda Ashram, Papa used to say in one of his quotations, God does not need an intermediary. Somebody wrote to Papa that you pray for something else, some particular object. So he has replied, God does not need an intermediary. If you think God can talk through Ramdas, he can also talk through you. You cannot accuse him of partiality. Switch on your wire for direct communication. Why do you deny him in your heart? God does not need an intermediary. If you think God can talk through Ramdas, he can talk through you as well, because you cannot accuse him of any partiality. All are equally his children, no? Switch on your wire for direct communication. Why do you deny him in your heart? When we were reading it, we were communicating to Papa to know that we need you, So an intermediary is needed to know that there is no intermediary. Then you will get an intuitive answer. Yes, that is the role of the preceptor. They are awakeners, but rest of the things are to be done by the sadhaka himself, according to his own taste, temperament, attitude, inclination. Otherwise, if you are trying to put up somebody's, we may not be able to after some time. So these are all some of the thoughts that are welling up when we think about sannyas. Another aspect is, what is the outcome of becoming the sannyasi? Probably that might give me some more clarity. Especially for people who are involved in these three tiers of life, namely family life, professional life, social life. Early morning when we get up, we are a part of the family. When we go to the field of profession, we become the professional being. When we are with our friends, we become a social being. So when we are prompted to involve in these three tiers, how am I to bring in this dimension, which is going to be the ultimate answer for my life? So then I don't get any clue, but I look at the Mahatmas. When we look at the life and mission of Mahatmas, first thing that comes to our mind is that there is no me to me. It is me to we and we to him. He is accessible to everybody. He is a public property. He doesn't think in terms of me and mine at all on any level. This we started work. So this is what is aimed at. A fulfillment, a life of contentment, where we don't feel any insufficiency or incompleteness, reveling in that, and at the same time available, just like a dictionary. Somebody was telling Dave for yesterday. Baji used to say, after certain activity, he retired from the active life, pravritti, and he said, hereafter I will be like a dictionary, which he coined the word as Sukshma Sannyas. Dictionary will not go to anybody, but anybody who wants to know something about it, the dictionary is available. Dictionary is available to everybody unconditionally, It doesn't dictate any terms. It is given out freely to everybody. So now we are trying to understand, we should reach a state where we are available to everybody. That means the me and mine should become zero, if not zero, at least to the minimum. And then we are accessible to everybody. And then there is no self-interest at all. However, this is nice to hear. Then when we start thinking, how is it possible? So far we have been identifying with this body, mind, intellect, equipment and the attached world. To one fine morning it is nice to hear, but how to put it in practice? From every level there is a compulsion, body, mind, intellect. How am I to get over this? Suddenly it strikes to us, everybody has got a tendency to go up the hill. Even if we are not in a position to walk, we will go at least in the vehicle and see from there. And everybody will say it's beautiful. What is happening to us? Just think. When we go to the hilltop and when we look from there, we say beautiful. When we are on the ground level, our vision is limited. And when our vision is limited, the mind tries to identify that which you are not comfortable with. Here is a dirty place, here is a waterlogging condition, there is a garden, there is a swampy area, like that, But when we go to the rooftop, do we see anything? Everybody, one and all, says it is beautiful, beautiful. So now we try to understand the learning God wants us to take it from it is, raise yourself from your present level. And when you go on raising yourself, what you see is only beautiful. When you see before the landing from the aircraft, when you see that, everything is beautiful. And so many are within your range. When you are on the ground level, very limited. So this all-inclusive, expansive attitude which the saint or a sannyasa, the ultimate aim of the sannyasa gives, is something like that where the inclusiveness is there. All are accommodated. Nothing negative is seen. Negative may be there, but more of positive is there. Everything is beautiful. Everything is in an orderly way. We don't see any disorderly way. But at this level, yes. Is sannyasa directing us towards that? We have to think. Because we have seen the lives of Mahatmas. From that platform when they look, even today they live in our mind. They are in the form of remembrance in our heart, perennially inspiring us to walk on the same path. Why? What is it that connects me to the saint's life? We start exploring. And then the next stage is, how am I to reach that stage with all the limitation I have? I may not be able to do the same thing. Certainly not. We can never imitate. Definitely we can emulate. Something of which. Then when we try to go through their life, we find the disciplines or self-denials, so that the mind does not stay on the comfort zones. More and more the comfort zones are removed. Mind space is available to think about Him who is the actuator. Otherwise, suppose suddenly the fan stops, the light goes, we are disturbed. So, in the Sukshma Bhava, it occupies our mind space. Suppose we train our equipment where we are not affected, even when it is not working, then we will not be disturbed. When it is there, we enjoy. If it is not there, that is also okay. It's all subject to current failure. That is in nature. Nature has its own play. We try to accept it really without blaming anybody, without grumbling anybody. Oh. This is what we see from their life. We are trying to understand today's topic, trying to understand sannyas in the modern context. Previously, yes. But in the modern context, when we are involved in family life, professional life, social life, when we come to institutions like this, we spend some time and go back. There should be some take-home message. We may not be able to follow what they did. So we are now trying to explore. This is the right place where such exploration can be had. Because we are free from all our domestic, compulsions. We don't have to cook. We don't have to maintain. We don't have to do anything. Nowadays, of course, we are carrying a mobile. Suppose we make a decision that for one day, for so many hours, I will switch off then we are completely cut off from our common challenges. So here we get a lot of time and then we try to explore. That is why all these days are celebrated or observed. Not for them. They don't want anything, On 1st June 1924, when Gurudev accepted sannyas, and for so many years, nobody knew anything about it. And after a long spell, slowly the blossoming started, people started knowing. Then only all these things would have come. So they are not after any celebrations. We are celebrating it with an attitude to go. It should be an instrumental cause for us to how they scale the heights. What can I do with all my limitation? So these are all some of the thoughts that are welling up very often in the minds of everybody. Let nobody think that we will be able to do it. Nobody will be able to do it. Each one is unique. Each one has to chalk out a path of their own. But as we said, we are now trying to find out a saint, a sannyasa, the outcome of the final sannyasa is to get out of the, toils of individualism. Yeah. We come out of that individualism and try to revel in that plane where every creation is accommodated, inclusive. If that we keep it in our mind, in our own field, without changing our cloth, without changing anything, we might be able to do 1%, 2%, 5%. Can I do that? This we are asking ourselves. Parampuja Papa Swami Ramdas, when he was prompted from within to fling himself at the feet of Lord, which we call it as sannyas. It was in the year 1922, December 27th, to be more precise. He left Mangalore then. He was also a Grihastha. And for 2 years he has been preparing. It was not that one fine morning he left everything. With the help of remembering, through chanting Ram Nam, and at the same time deeply contemplating his own words side by side, ceaseless repetition of his name, side by side meditating upon the attributes of God. Both were going on simultaneously. The result of which one fine morning he was prompted, when he is behind everything, why should I not throw myself completely at his feet? Okay. So when he left on the next day, God willed that he should be taken to Srirangam, a place in Tamil Nadu, where the Kaveri river comes. Suddenly the idea came to offer the white clothes. And it was a symbolic of this thing. Along with that, the me and mine was also offered, including his previous name. And he assumed the name of Ramdas, Das of Ram, servant of Ram. He defines who Ram is. Ram is the subtle and mysterious power. And at that time, he took 3 vows. That is why we remember this. And that 3 vows we start thinking deeply. First was, henceforth, this life will be entirely consecrated to the meditation and service of Ram. Both. This life henceforth will be consecrated to the meditation and service of Ram. Number 2, henceforward, all the women folk will be treated as our mother. Third one, this body will be maintained purely on the alms received. When we are trying to understand sannyas in the modern context, when we go deeply into these 3 vows, one is that not only we contemplate and lead a meditative life to feel his presence first inside, and then to see that he is also there outside. So to get ourselves immersed in it, we need inward journey. And then nobody can be in that position. We are all embodied self, drawn from the basic 5 elements. It has to have its own run. So when I come out of it, I must see him as the creation. So consecrated to the meditation of Ram and service of Ram. And second is to have self-control. Third one is dispossession. We get some idea about now sannyas. We as an individual exist because of the factors other than us. God, who has actuated our life, has also ensured to see that whatever we need has to be provided through some factors, and he brought out Mother Nature and the society. So we owe everything to this creation also. We can't isolate ourselves from the rest of the creation. We need air to breathe, water to drink, earth to exist, space to move about, 98.4 degree temperature to keep us alive. We need sun, we need rains, metals, minerals, gases, vegetables, pulses, fruits. All these are supplied by Mother Nature. Whatever we use, right from our brush paste, soap, wash basin, commode, dress, specs, road, building, electricity, language, education, we have not done anything. Through his selected creation, whom we call as scientists, in the form of discovery, invention, innovation, He has been bringing out all these creature comforts for enabling us to lead a comfortable life. Anything, including this mic, including this when there was no chair, he made somebody to think. When there was no building, he made somebody to think. When there was no table, when there was no vaporweight, when there was no watch, when there was no glass, when there was no specs. Suddenly we remember. We owe everything to this creation, and through the creation to the Creator. So sannyasa should enable me to connect myself properly with the creation. That is why the word meditation and service of Ram. And for that I need some self-control, because in order to accept, recognize the power behind all these things, I must recede, I must withdraw the mind from the outer to the inner. So some self-discipline is absolutely necessary. I need not change my dress, need not change my name, but I must become conscious of this reality. Everything I owe to Him, and He has not given anything directly to me. He has given only through His creation. So I can also pay back only by loving His creation and serving His creation. So that means the less and less of me and mine, more and more of we and us. Does sannyasa point out to this? Anything that I do. Another thing, I cannot appropriate everything only to myself. Because I am 100% now convinced intellectually that whatever is done through me, the sense of individuality, is because of the bounteous gifts given by factors other than me. So how can I appropriate everything only to myself? That is how the expansiveness, from the individual to the universal, at least we make a beginning. Mother Nature is available to everybody equally, whether we know it or not, whether we recognize it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we are grateful or not, whether we don't recognize, whether we condemn or not, it still gives to us. Unconditional. So we start thinking. So sannyas, we can try to interpret. Each one can interpret in their own way, but we feel sannyas is something like, we see the Creator expressing Himself in the form of creation and taking care of His creation, including me, the sense of individuality. And to become aware of this, I need a name. So the only when I come out of the cocooned stage of me and mine, I will be able to see that. Just like when we see from the hilltop, everything is beautiful. From the level, here me and mine dominate. This is good, this is not good, this is... So many suffixes and prefixes. But when from the rooftop, from the aircraft, when we see how beautiful it is, similarly we have to raise ourselves from the me and mine. Is sannyasa pointing out towards that? If we are convinced that it is pointing out, it can be practiced by all of us at every level. So whatever prompting we get, certain people will get prompting to adopt this particular, absolutely right, valid. This is shared to others. Otherwise we are coming here, attending a program and then going back. What has its impact on us? The sannyasa centenary. The transformation of one individual has been responsible for this 100 years in giving solace, in giving answers to many of their pressing problems, whether it is on the spiritual side or the material side, in all over the world. One person's transformation. That means the me and mine got submerged in the universal reality. Whereas you and I probably, we are still in the clutches of me and mine, so our reach is very limited. Their reach is unlimited. Even after dropping the body, even after 61 years before that they dropped the body, they continue to inspire people. What is the secret behind it? That means when we got out of these toils of individualism, when we started identifying ourselves with a larger vision, with a universal outlook, it stays there. So when he is prompting us to come here and to take part in the program, it is a message given to us: try in your own way, whatever is possible. We need not think about all. Something, 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%. So suddenly we remember Sannyasa stands for this expansion. Rest of the things are relative, but this is the ultimate. When we think about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when we think about Ramana Bhagavan, when we think about Sri Anandamayama, any saints, Gandhiji, Vinobaji, we suddenly realize that it is from me to we, me to him. Not even me to we to him. Because everywhere they see only their whole life is an offering made to the Creator, who is in us, who is in everybody, who is in the form of the entire creation. How am I to move towards this? This question I come. In my family level, in my professional level, in my social level. These are all some of the topics which we can keep on engaging ourselves. We may find our own answer. So 2-3 things we would like to again contemplate. Somebody started sending 1 rupee. That 1 rupee he will not take. He used to buy curds and give to somebody, and rest of the money is used to buy medicines because he was a doctor, to the ailing one. Right from day one, selflessness has got stamped in his heart. It is something on which we have to keep on thinking. In our own way, we may not be able to free ourselves from our possessions completely, but certainly we will be able to limit, when we try to go through that. Parimiti, parigraham. Limited. Instead of 10 items, we can manage it with 9.5. Instead of 9.5, we can tomorrow manage it with 9. Is it that is conveyed through sannyas? No? The ultimate I am not talking about the in-between. There are various systems, various processes, various disciplines, that is all going on. Each one according to the taste and temperament embraces it and tries to go forward. We are sharing this only to those who are like us, ordinary people, who have not committed to this. So can we do that? Is it only reserved for this? No. Suppose we try to extract what exactly sannyasa stands for. And then if we get inspired by it, can I practice 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%? Because from day one onward they have been selfless. So how am I to get myself freed from the bondage of me and mine? This is the first thing that comes to our mind. How am I to do it? So, periodical going through the biographical sketch of masters who have scaled the height definitely help us. Suppose there may be many times when we are involved in various activities, our enthusiasm or what you call the tempo gets punctured. We may get dispirited, dejected. So at that time something is necessary to inflate into us the same inspiration. There, Satsang as well as the biographical sketches of masters give a boost. Because under what a particular circumstance they lived. They did not complain, they did not grumble, they did not find fault with anybody. They were not cursing anybody, they were not cursing their own fate. But they were joyously, blissfully moving towards the goal because they are very clear about the goal to be scaled. The goal is to become selfless. From the small I to the bigger I. To get out of the small I. So suppose we have now 100 possessions are there. These 100 possessions relate to the me and mine. Can I try something? So me and mine, the relationship and the possessions. Whether it is dominating my entire life or am I becoming aware of the Creator? All of us have many a time read Bhagavad Gita, We all know that we all owe to Him only, Bijam mam sarvabhutanam vidhi, Where from we have come? We have come from Him. So when we have come from that subtle and mysterious power, the indwelling and all-pervading reality, the individual and the universal consciousness, we have unknowingly identified with a small circle and a small equipment called my body, mind, intellect. I am not aware of it. Is sannyas pointing out to the originator, the source, the root? Because then only the expansiveness can come. Otherwise, I am in the me and mine. So it enables me to connect myself to the originator. Gadir Bharta, Prabhu Sakshi. In so many shlokas it has been mentioned. Sharanam Suhrud, Prabhava Pralayasthanam, Nidanam, Bijam, Avyayam. In so many shlokas, the Lord prays, I am the Bijam, I am the Bijam, I am the Bijam. So because normally we say, how are you, what is your origin? My parents. But then we realize parents also have got parents. They have also got parents, though they can't be the first cause. They are the instrumental cause. No doubt about it. But they are not the first cause. So which is the first cause? Our intellect cannot go beyond 2 or 3 or 4 generations at best. So we go to the Shastras. He says, Bijam mam sarvabhutanam vidhi. I am the eternal seed. Though we have no clear-cut idea about what that I am, we will start. We have faith in our scriptures. We have faith in the words of the masters. So on a sannyas day or a sannyas centenary day, when he makes us to think about these words, sannyas, 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 so many, is it getting me connected to the originator? So far I have been identifying myself in a small circle. So does sannyasa enable me to get out of this circle and identify with my originator? Which alone can answer this. So he is responsible for everything. How the whole thing started, that has also been explained, right from the space, how one by one up to trees and the food and to the man, to the person. We have not done anything. Any item, it will connect me to him, now. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant because everything has come from him. He gave the prompting. So each one can now start developing a methodology suitable to one's own taste and temperament. But the ideal is to become clear about the source, the root, the origin. And the moment we get convinced about that origin, their life, they have shown how they were able to get out of this me and mine, and how they were able to continue to inspire even after they shed their sense of body. Everyone gets an answer. Every saint. Perennial inspiration. So on this auspicious occasion of moving toward the Sannyasa centenary of Gurudev, we pray to him, who is now in the form of remembrance in our heart, to give us more and more clarity on the goal to be scaled, and also methodology that is suitable for me. You are inside, you can give me. I don't know how to move about. I have been following this, that. But still there is a sense of insufficiency and incompleteness that is welling up in my heart. So kindly show me a method that is according to the Swabhava, Swadharma you have given to me, to make myself thoroughly established in the fact that me and mine is an offshoot to function in this world of creation created by you, so that it is only a relative reality. It is not the absolute reality. I have been so far identifying it as the absolute reality. So kindly enable me to move towards that, by which I clearly understand the absolute reality and function through the relative reality. Everything is valid. Sense of individuality has also got a role to perform. Through a sense of individuality only now Gurudev is there in our heart. But we knew from the micro to the macro, they were able to raise themselves, graduate themselves. So we understand all these things are valid. Now give us a technique. Right from the moment I get up till I retire to bed, something that is perfectly okay for me to carry on, so that I will be able to free myself from the clutches of me and mine, which is one facet of this sannyas. Freeing myself from all possessiveness. We cannot do away with possession. Even when we are managing now, handling so many things in ashram, we become as trustees. It is not individually ours, but at the same time, it's something like a cashier in a bank. He may be handling crores of rupees, but he knows nothing is his. That attitude I should come. Whatever possession you make me to possess, you should make me to not feel the ownership. Ownership, I should always, I should know that you are the owner. For others, I may be acting as an owner, assumed ownership. But heart of heart, I should know that you are the owner. You have given me the possession. You have given me the relationship to have your world play. And when you make me know, I will play it well. I will handle it well. But at the same time, it will not get the stain of me and mine, the selfishness. Through sannyas, you have made us aware of these sublime truths. Enable me to translate this into my life in my own way. This I cannot do it by myself. If it was possible for myself, I would have already done. So now you are there in my heart, in the form of remembrance. Please, though you are there, I am not aware of your presence always. The me and mine overtakes and I am unaware. With the result, I am unable to go according to your guidance. So enable me to make myself feel that you are within me, you are guiding me, you are leading me. These are the thoughts that welled up in our hearts today on this auspicious occasion. Exploration, inner exploration, reflection, contemplation, meditation on these. Many of you might be knowing the famous slogan in Vivek Chudamani, Aptoktim Kananam. That digging Kananam, but we cannot say the treasure should come out, The treasure will come only if we do certain things. This Kananam is going on. So enable me to do that, please. I am 100% convinced that the treasure is within me, that you are within me. But enable me to dig it out and make me my own. Through Vivek Chudamani, you have said, simply calling, it will not enable me to own it. But I must do the necessary Purushartha, which you have given to me. And with that, I must do the digging, remove the debris, patiently, perseveringly continue that. And until I get the sound signal that it is there, then I remove the outer cover, then take the treasure, own it. It has been beautifully brought out in that Vivek Chudamani. So you have placed before us so many such clues. Enable me to live up to it. This is our ardent prayer at your holy feet. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Om Sadgurunath.